number 4, accelerating of cooking process. So, accelerating the cooking process. Accelerate the speed at which something will cook also will add the Melacha of cooking. Right? Therefore, an item already on a flame may not be treated in a way that it will cause it cook to more quickly. Obviously, it is forbidden to increase the intensity of the flame or electric heat, as it well as the Melacha of kindling, Chavara, in addition to Melacha of cooking. However, there are additional methods of accelerating the cooking process, all of which are prohibited. The following are some of these methods. So we say cooking is forbidden, and even if let's say we started the process before Shabbos, and we say let's say it was half ready, 50% ready, right? And you want to continue cooking on Shabbos, right? So even though you're allowed to do that under circumstances we're going to discuss, so but you cannot make the fire bigger or electric. You cannot make it bigger because larger, because it's going to cook faster for sure. Other methods: changing the position of the pot. Moving the pot closer to the fire will definitely cause it to cook more quickly. Therefore, any food on a stove that is not completely cooked may not be shifted to the position close to the fire, even if the fire is covered by a blech. Doing so will add the prohibition of cooking. Change the position of the fully cooked food is discussed in chapter 4, and we're going to discuss the reheating. So we have a blech, right? So usually people leave only one burner. I mean that's enough, and they cover with a blech. What is a blech? We're going to discuss as a sheet of metal. In our case, it's aluminum, right? And so you basically keep only one burner going, but the whole sheet is going to warm up. So basically, for example, if you put it you put this pot that is not completely cooked, not on top of the fire where the most heat, but on a side. So if the food is not completely cooked, you're not allowed to shift it to the place right above the burner. Because why? Because of course it's going to get very hot. So you're going to accelerate the cooking, and this is forbidden. Continue. So it's one method of accelerating. Second, B, reducing the amount of food or liquid in the pot. Reducing the amount of food in the pot causes the remaining of the content to cook more quickly. Therefore, if food is in a pot, is not completely cooked, it is forbidden to remove portions of the content. For example, one may not take cholent from the pot for Friday night unless it is completely cooked. The prohibition, the proper procedure for taking fully cooked cholent described in chapter 6. We're going to talk about, of course. Similarly, it is prohibited to remove some water from the urn that has not yet reached the maximum temperature, as doing so will cause the remaining water to boil more quickly. Okay, so let's try to understand what they're saying here. There is so if food is completely cooked or liquid is completely cooked, there are methods by which you can remove some of it. So, for example, you have a kettle on the blech, so you can remove it. You can drink, pour some water. You make yourself tea, coffee. There is no problem. Enjoy, and you can put it back, as we're going to discuss. But if the water is not completely cooked, right? So, for example, if they want to drink tea and they just put it on Friday, 5 minutes before the candlelight, a few minutes before the candlelight, right? And it did not boil yet. For example, women, they don't want to eat home. Women is not obligated to go to synagogue. Usually they don't. For example, a single lady, right? So a single lady, she's going to make her own kiddush. There is no problem. So, and she can eat right away. If there is a family and she's going to wait for her husband to come from home, that's a different story. It would take him an hour, maybe, to finish Mincha and Mariv. By the time he walks home, he talked to other guys and stuff like that. So the water is going to get boiled. But if she's alone, so basically after the sunset, she can do kiddush even before the sunset. So basically, the water in this kettle is not did not boil. So where's the method? If you want to drink this tea, so you have to pour out some water. So if less water is in the kettle, it's going to boil faster, which is I think everybody knows. So that's what is not forbidden. Why? Because you accelerate the cooking. That's a second example. And example that they give you with the cholent, I mean, it's exactly the same concept. For example, you don't need so much, so you're even ready to cool it off and put it in the refrigerator and cook it off. Cook the second portion on Sunday, right? So you don't need so much. But since it has not cooked completely, so if you remove, let's say 1/3 of the cholent that is in slow cooker now, so the rest of it is going to cook faster, which is absolutely forbidden because heat, the amount of heat is the same, but the quantity of the food is different. Next one, C, steering. Steering also accelerates the cooking process. Therefore, it is prohibited to stir in a pot of partially cooked food or a liquid. So you cannot stir like with any implements. This prohibition extends even if a pot has been removed from the stove. The stove, the pot, okay, so even if we remove from the stoves partially cooked, we're not talking about completely, partially cooked food, so you're not allowed to stir. Okay. Continue. The partially cooked contents may not be stirred as long as they remain at temperature Yad Tzala Desbo. So this Yad Tzala Desbo temperature, it's a temperature with which the food is going to cook. So if it's less than Yad Tzala Desbo, it's not, the intensity is much lower, right? So meaning that it's not going to cook and you can stir because it's not going to help you much. Okay, that's the thing. Removing partially cooked food from a pot that is off the fire is similar to the stirring and therefore forbidden by the sages. So okay, so what did they do? Okay, so this very interesting case. So they removed the partially cooked food from the fire, and now okay, so but they want to eat it, right? So they wanted to take off some food. For sure, they don't eat it today, right? And they want to stir it. So of course, the remaining of the food is going to cook faster because, as everybody knows, on the bottom it's much hotter than on top, and by stirring, so you mix in the food, and if on the bottom it was ready, on the top it was not cooked completely. So by you stirring, it's actually accelerate the process of cooking, and that's why it is forbidden. Covering the pot. So that next one. Covering the pot also hastens the cooking process. Therefore, one may not cover the pot or partially cooked food. So let's see the commentary and we explain. This applies with a pot that has been removed from the stove, even to the pot that was removed to the stove, as long as the contents still temperature of Yad Tzala Desbo. So as we said, even if you remove the pot from the stove, so we did not say, sorry, I say this. No. So the pot itself is very hot and capable of cooking until it cools off, right? So in some sense, this pot itself is a source of heat, and it's going to cook for some time. We're going to give a definition for how long later on. It's going to cook the contents. So, and that's why when we cover with the lid, of course, it's going to, like the pressure, the temperature is going to stay in there, and it's going to cook faster, which is forbidden. if the pot that has that is sitting on a source of the heat become uncovered, it is forbidden to replace the cover unless the food is completely cooked. So why? Because this covering is going to accelerate the cooking, and it's not allowed. If it's completely cooked food, that's a different story. They're allowed because it's hot, and they say there is no cooking after cooking. Even if source of the even the cover is lifted momentarily, one may not replace it on a pot. So meaning we're talking about not completely cooked food. Okay, so if they took it out, so they cannot put it back. Practically speaking, therefore, one must beware of lifting the cover of any pot on a blech unless one is certain that the contents is completely cooked. So if you're not certain they're completely cooked, don't lift the cover. But the good rule is make sure that all of the foods are completely ready before Shabbos. Don't go this 1/3, 1/2. That's the proper way. Make sure that it's everything 100% ready. So cook on Thursday, on Wednesday, whenever you need. Women usually cooked on a Thursday night. I don't know when they sleep and how they sleep. That's a miracle on its own. Okay. E, closing an oven door. Closing an oven door causes the interior temperature to rise dramatically, therefore, thereby advancing the cooking process. Therefore, an open oven door may not be closed if any food is in oven is not completely cooked. So, of course, you have an oven. You open the door, the temperature goes, I don't know, 150 degrees or 200 degrees. As soon as you close, it goes up. So it's like also accelerated the cooking. So if it's not completely cooked, don't open the door. Okay, so let's just read this part and we're done. Accordingly, one should beware of opening the oven door if there is a food inside that is not fully cooked. Okay. So as we said before, make the best way to make sure that everything is cooked before. But in case of the need, so if you need to cook on Shabbos, right? So I mean, continue, not cook. That's for sure. Continue cooking on Shabbos. So just do not open the door. Regarding opening the door on Shabbos, see chapter 27 about electrical appliances. So there is a problem with this also. So even in the oven, you have to have blech, meaning that this fire must be covered.